These are called my life lessons. Process, resources, and opportunity. Think like a pro. Are you guys able to see this? Focus on the P's for great opportunity. Is there potential, problem, that's painful, profitable, prevalent, passionate, purpose, possible, projections? Is it feasible? PH, and is there a philosophy that's aligned? So building startups like making popcorn. Does anyone know how to make popcorn back in the day, 100 years ago before microwaves? And by the way, I use time in a different way. So I have kind of the Andy time that's not really 100 years ago. And then I know Gregorian time as well, but just part of my effect. So when you stir popcorn, nothing happens, then there's a pop, then there's a pop, then there's a pop, 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 and then it goes on and explodes. So early on, very lonely in startups, not a lot of feedback. When you work as a team, sometimes you work like engineers, very methodically, collaboratively. Sometimes you're working as a miner, alone and focused and solo, and sometimes a farmer, carefully planning, cultivating season after season. Beware of beautiful houses that are in the desert. This gets back into market. It seems like, do you think it would be great to open an outdoor ice skating rink in College Station? Maybe not. Maybe not. So you have to think of the context where you are. What's your ideal customer? I'm going to skip over in the interest of time. Stop. Enjoy the view. Anyone have a feeling they want to share that when they were looking at that view? Caroline?
Yes.
When you looked at that view, anything come to mind?
I'm not sure what you mean. Like, stop and enjoy the view, like take life and not like take everything like too seriously, like pause and just like evaluate things and relax.
Thank you, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So now we're going to go through, look every situation from multiple perspectives. So act like a historian where you studied the past, and that will help you turn into a prognosticator to look to the future. Can people see this matrix? I have to go like this. Oh, here we go. So this is a 2x2. If you know, don't know, don't know. So if you know what you know, that's your knowledge. If you don't know what you don't know, if you don't know what you know, you're an idiot. If you don't know what you don't know, you're danger zone. If you know what you don't know, you can get help. So you like to use two presidents as examples. Jimmy Carter and this isn't political. Jimmy Carter is actually the smartest president we've ever had. He was a PhD in nuclear physics. He was also one of our worst presidents. And the reason why is he had so much knowledge that he thought that was all he needed, and he was never able to get help. In fact, President Carter was in charge of the White House tennis court reservation system. Anyone who wanted to play tennis on the White House tennis court had to get presidential approval. Ronald Reagan may have been among the lower IQ of our presidents, and independent of policies, one of our most effective. Why? Because he knew that his knowledge was limited, but he knew how to get help with advisors, and he knew what he didn't know. So the goal in life is expand your knowledge. If you're walking around the Amazon and you don't know there's quicksand, you will step in it. If you know that there's quicksand, you'll go more carefully and you'll avoid it. And then you'll get help. What's the best question to ask in any class, in any situation? I don't understand. Can you explain to me? Because then you'll learn. Okay. Beware of the perils of ice fishing. Don't be myopic. You're so focused here, you don't realize everything is like cracking around you. I'm going to skip this one. Okay, here, I got to do this. Surviving is thriving. I don't think these links are going to work, so I have to show it from a different way. So this is Apollo Ono in the 2000.
Andy, if you want.
I'm going to do it off of Breaking Monster. 2002 Winter Olympics. Surviving is thriving. And then I'm going to show you how innovation is also thriving. So these are two things. This is actually going to take a little bit of time.
Maybe I don't know.
I think I'm going to skip it because I don't think we have time in this.
I can show them.
No,
I would show.
no. Alex, you're going to send that as one of the follow-up blogs, and people can watch that on their own. So read the blog and play both videos. You'll be amazed. Every year I do it. Philippe, what do people say in the class?
I love it.
They love it. So Alex, that'll be a follow-up. I think that's a better use of time. Understand the goal before looking for the needle. A satisficer picks the very first needle. The optimizer picks 4 or 5 needles to find the best one. The maximizer goes through every single haystack for every single needle to find the sharpest one. Never be a maximizer, except if it is like absolutely crucial. Like if you're looking for, whatever. But always say to whoever you're working with, should I do a satisficer approach or an optimizer? This is beautiful. Can someone read this to me, please? Mark?
No, the early bird gets the early worm. The late bird gets the late worm. My mom always told me there's always a worm.
Exactly. Always a worm. And my grandfather told me, don't let anyone rain on your parade. I tell this to my kids all the time. This is like our family mantra. I like to put apostrophes in possible and make it I'm possible. What do people see?
I see a duck.
Anyone else?
See a rabbit.
Matter of perspective. Broaden your perspective.
I didn't see the rabbit, but oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So can you collect all the dots with only 4 lines? Many people get stuck inside the box. You have to broaden your perspective. Okay, all is all. None is none. Sometimes some is some, like a piece of pie. Sometimes some is none, like part of a bridge. You turn no's into yeses when you add knowledge and wisdom. Who thinks that's funny? Someone's laughing there. What's your name? Who thinks it's funny? Why do you think it's funny? What do you like about it?
I think it's just, it's like the rabbit one. You're reframing the way that you look at life.
It's all about it. Oh, I had a meeting with an entrepreneur. 15 minutes before the meeting, I got a call from a buddy. He says, by the way, you're meeting with George. I want you to know he's a sleazeball. He's lost money for everyone who we invested in. And everyone hates him. His team sued him. How's my meeting going to go with George, this entrepreneur?
I bet it went great.
No, it's not going to go well. I'm not going to invest. Then I'm meeting with another entrepreneur, David, and I get a call from a buddy. He goes, I want you to know I heard you're meeting with David. He's unbelievable. His teams would jump off the edge of the earth for him. He's backed. Everyone's made money with him. We're trying to get in the deals. If you can get it, we're going to back with you. How's that go?
That one went great.
Yeah. So the frame is important. Try your hardest. Try your hardest. Obstacles are meant to be overcome. Be creative, be persistent. There's always a way. Over, around, under, or through. I have a TED Talk, Lesson to the Ladder. Alex, add this to the list, please. I use time in a joking way, so sometimes I'm accurate, sometimes I'm more metaphorical. So when starting a company, think like a pro, process, resources, opportunity. Focus on the P's: problem, potential, painful, profitable, prevalent, passion, purpose, possible, projections, feasible, pH, and philosophy. Building startups is like making popcorn. You stir and stir, nothing happens, stir, nothing happens, stir. something happens, then a pop, then a pop pop, and then all of a sudden happens. So it takes time. It's a little lonely in the beginning. Does your team operate like engineers, farmers, or miners? Engineers, collaborative, methodical, miners alone, dark and focused, and farmers have a long-term landscape with seasonal evolution. Beware of beautiful houses in the desert. It looks beautiful, but you have to know the context. I'm going to skip this part. Stop. Enjoy the view. What's going on here? Grant, I saw you smile. What came to mind when you were enjoying the view?
Well, I just think it's funny because you can tell that you have such a mind that's like always racing, and I know we get like that sometimes in this class, that it can sort of be hard to do that when you're just going and going and going to just stop and take everything in.
Anyone else here have a mind that races during class? Andrew, were you thinking something else besides class right now? Was something else on your mind?
No, just hearing more about your background has been really interesting. That's what I've been thinking about mainly.
Did someone else get distracted just a minute ago?
My dog just jumped on the computer, so that was pretty distracting.
Okay, so let's take a moment and we're gonna have a quiet meditation just for a brief moment and stay fully present, free of distraction. How'd that feel?
Peace and quiet is nice.
Lana, what were you feeling?
It felt good. I was just kind of thinking that I feel like you live in a job that could have a lot of hurry, so I appreciate that you take some moment to slow down a little bit.
Doesn't take long. That wasn't like 4 hours. That wasn't a huge nap. It was just like, it literally was 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's cool.
When was the last time that you guys valued 60 seconds as an increment of time?
Last time I took one of Professor Zerko's tests.
His tests are only 60 seconds?
When it comes down to the very end of it.
Oh, that's at the end. You should have used, okay. Anyway, am I doing this right? Yeah, different points of view are very important. Philippe, we're ending in 20 minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Move from being a historian to a prognosticator, study the past, it'll help inform the future. I'm gonna skip this one. Okay, I'll talk about it. No, if you don't know what you know, you're an idiot. If you know what you know, you're knowledge. If you know what you don't know, you can get help. If you don't know what you don't know, that's the danger zone. So I'll use two presidents, not for political perspectives, but in terms of operational style. The smartest president we've had in the history of the United States, in my view, was Jimmy Carter, a PhD in nuclear physics. I also believe is one of our worst presidents. And the reason is he operated solely in his knowledge. He knew so much and he couldn't get any help. If you wanted to play tennis at the White House, literally, he ran the White House tennis court reservation system. Ronald Reagan may have been one of the lower IQ presidents we had, but maybe one of our most effective, independent of policy. And why? Because he knew how to get help and he knew how to stay out of his danger zone. So expand your knowledge. If you don't know there's quicksand in the Amazon, you'll step in it. If you know that it is, you'll tread more carefully. Know how to get help. I don't understand. That's the best thing that you can do. Don't be myopic. Be aware of broader set of influences. It looks good there, but look at your surroundings. Skip that one for now. This is an amazing thing. This I have to send as a blog afterwards. Play the videos. Trust me. Philippe, if people read this blog and play these videos, what will they think?
That they'd be thankful they've met you.
Yeah, it really is. The quick thing is, this guy He wins by losing. You won't believe it, Apollo Ono. And this guy is David versus Goliath. You won't believe it. So you'll see it in the blog. Understand the goal before looking for the sharp needle. The satisfizer picks the very first needle. The optimizer, 4 or 5 needles. The maximizer goes through every single needle in every single haystack. Don't be a maximizer. Can someone read this for me? Hello?
It says that no, the early bird
Start from the
gets
top.
the early
Read from the top. Start. Hello, read from the top. There's a headline.
Does the early bird get the worm?
Keep reading.
No, the early bird gets the early worm. The late bird gets the late worm. My mom always told me there's always a worm.
Nice. Someone else read this.
Don't let anyone rain in on your parade.
Don't let anyone rain on your parade. That's from my Normie. Turn the impossible into I'm possible with just an apostrophe. And that's not an imposter. What people say? Hello?
See a duck.
What do people see?
See a rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah, matter of perspective. Many people get stuck. 4 lines, connect the dots, don't pick up the pen, stuck inside the box, go outside the box. All is all, none is none. Sometimes some is some, like a piece of pie. And sometimes some is none, like part of a bridge. Turn no into no by adding knowledge and wisdom. I'm sorry, turn no into yes by adding knowledge and wisdom. Try your hardest, try your hardest. Obstacles are meant to be overcome. Be creative, persistent. There's always a way, over, around, under, or through. This I'm going to skip. I'm going to have, I'll go to this. No task is too big or too small. That's in my dream job blog. You should read it. This was my first job when I was in high school. I was an intern in Washington, D.C., working for Congressman Bo Bolter, who is from the Panhandle, Wichita Falls, 13th District, Amarillo, Wichita Falls. Anyone know where that is in Texas? Hello?
Yes.
So my job was to lick envelopes. I was at Harvard College. I thought I was smart as whip, and I wanted to change the world. And they said, lick these 500 envelopes. Guess what I did? I licked those envelopes better than anyone had licked them before. I developed a system that was hyper efficient. I read every letter that was in every envelope. And when I delivered the envelope, I would always try to meet the person and talk about the issue. Make the mundane magical and soar like an eagle. Don't squat like a duck. Guess what they gave me at the end? I wasn't licking envelopes with my lips. I was writing speeches for the congressman to read from his lips. Mindfulness ladder, that's a whole conversation. We'll do that in the blog. Let me think. Maybe I'll explain it. So the metaphor of a ladder is the geometry of ladder is such that 85% of the surface area is air, 15% is run. And all of the space and growth happens as you climb the space between the rungs. And I used to live my life, if you have a ladder where the ratio is 50-50, you can't get your feet in. So I used to live my life with, like, if I could do 8 meetings a day better than 4, if I could do 10, if I could do 12, 14, more. Are you busy? Busy. But was it productive? How was your day? Lazy, but was it meaningful? So I changed my life. I eliminated as much structure as possible to have a stable ladder and maximize air for growth and creativity. I'll send a blog on it. I did a TED Talk. You can watch that. Search for the Yellow Jacket. Different conversation. This is different conversation. Let me see if I can play this.